Can you just tell us very briefly, highlight some of the things that you've achieved in the last term and what you want to do going forward? I mean, I've read the material you sent earlier, because I kind of have a heads up on what you're going to say, but still, give you enough.
You want to hear it anyway, too?
Yeah.
I don't blame you. That's what it's about. That's all paper and words on it that I believe in, but it's nothing better than actually seeing the real person and actually talking to. Well, I ran for the seat in 2003 and I lost. And I ran again in 2006 and was able to achieve the goal. So I came to the seat with years of wanting to give back to public service and goals and things that I wanted to accomplish. I walked the district once in 2003 and twice for the 2006 election, so the pulse of the people I think I have a good handle on. Given that, when I got into office in 2006, I had made promises to people and communities about what I would do. One was to initiate a type of a master plan, zoning in progress, preferably a moratorium on the beach and a section of the beach so that we could get a better product for development on the beach. That was only for the barrier island. The downtown and the other areas, I have been very proactive in approving a lot of the projects. I'm a big advocate for the light rail system that we will hopefully potentially be able to afford to put in. In order to pay for that, I do believe that we should do a special assessment for the people that are going to be using it, so it doesn't come out of all the taxpayers, because now is not the time to raise taxes. One of the reasons that I'm running specifically, again, is I have made those promises, completed most of them. I still have more to do. I've only served for 3 years. About 6 months of it was a transitionary period in the beginning, and of course now the last 3 months it's been the steady flow of campaigning that takes up a lot of my time. So really, when you boil it down, it's really just less than 3 years.
What would you say are the 2 or 3 things you still have more to do that would be the priority list?
The priority list is the finances of the city. That's the number 1 priority list. I have the experience of going through 3 budgets. I've asked for a budget workshop. I've asked for a strategic plan for our finances. I believe there's too much government waste. When I first arrived, I realized that money was flying out the door. That would be my first goal, is to get a handle on that. I can bring experience about that to the table. The second goal would be the development issues. I still think we need to finalize that. The comprehensive beach master plan that we've been doing has not been completed yet. Actually, it has been completed at the planning. We haven't had our last public meeting yet. When we have our public meeting, we'll then start to initiate some zoning changes for a better beach. I want to call it more public realm, which is more open space, pedestrian friendly, greenways, signage. Primarily the idea behind the master plan on the beach was to give the residents, the developers, and the tourism group a large portion of things to do there. The Hall of Fame pool complex needs to be renovated. It's an eyesore, and it's beautiful to come to our beach. We have a beautiful beach. We're lucky to have that. Residents love it, tourists love it, investors love it. But to finalize it and to fine-tune it is what we need to do. Right now, if the beach stays the way it is, it will be overdeveloped, because in the past there's been a lot of modifications made to the zoning code to entice developers to come into the area. Now we need to take some time and figure out what kind of development we want and what kind of experience we want to have for the public. We can do that through different types of changes in setbacks. We can do that through different types of zoning changes for the center area of the beach. We can have more uses, galleries, cafes, walkable streets, things like that is what I'm looking for. I want everyone to have an experience when they walk out of that $500 a night hotel. They just don't go to the beach. They can walk behind their building and find more to do. They can go down to the Hall of Fame and pool if it's a bad day at the beach. And frankly, not everyone comes to our beautiful beach and stays there to swim in our ocean. So I want to give them more to do.
While you're on the issue of development, your opponents, Howard Elfman and Steve Glassman, are criticizing you for voting no too often. Can you talk about that?
I'd love to talk about that, yes. I vote no too often, perhaps we're speaking just of the barrier island, because I do believe that at this stage of the game it is overdeveloped, and we need to be very careful. That's why I initiated the master plan. Development in general, no. Development in the downtown and near downtown, I've been very supportive of all the development down there. I'm very supportive of the light rail to make sure that the development does occur around the rail station. Very supportive of the possibility of the FEC having a local line to be able to put in train stops along the way to open up development opportunities.
Well, one specific project that came up was the old Ireland's Inn, now Fairwinds project, where a lot of your constituents got up to urged that it be approved, and you voted against it, and that came up when one of your opponents was here at the editorial board. Can you?
Well, I'd like to address that. First of all, I'm sure they were constituents. I'm not sure if they were District 2 constituents. We don't really ask them where they live when they sign in. So given that point, there's a large support of people that are very displeased with the idea of the islands. And one of the major reasons that I did say no to the islands is it was one of the largest giveaways of public land. You may not think that because it was a street that was vacated, but a street was vacated for them with minimal conditions put on it. One of the things I'd also like to address is, and I think this is a great time to bring it up, one of my opponents sat on the Planning and Zoning Board and approved that project. He also came to the commission and lobbied on behalf of himself and others for that project. There was a secret negotiation done at a particular time, and the undergrounding of the power lines across an individual condo are going to be buried as part of the conditions that were put upon the developer. Frankly, he did not, he disclosed, I believe that he spoke to the development community, but he did not abstain from the vote on planning and zoning, and in my feeling, it does go down to basically on services, which he did not do. So I am very disappointed with the fact that we had the same proponent is the same one who backed me 100% on my vision for the better beach 3 years ago, and who is now doing something totally different.
So then, like, on the Planning and Zoning Board, he was pushing for this development.
Yes.
Did he disclose at the time that he was going to benefit because the power line?
No, I had to find that out by pulling the minutes.
Okay, so then, even though after that became public, he still voted?
That has not become public. You're the first to know about that. I just found that out myself.
Okay.
So that was, and you know, and I haven't really made an issue of it, but because I'm trying to run a clean campaign, but at the same time, those are the facts, and I will speak only factually and not hearsay, but the minutes will reflect that.
And there was a project, that not on the beach, but another one, I can't remember which one it was, that you had originally voted for, but you voted against them getting a time extension recently.
Yes,
Why?
That was the Ocean Way. The reason I voted for it was because the owner of the property had been through many of the master planning meetings, and she knew and brought to me what she thought her interpretation of the master plan would be. I agreed. She did everything she could possibly do, including the fact that it was the lowest building on the block. She did the idea of doing the 360-degree view from the building. She accessed the back part of the beach. She stepped her building way back. She had a promenade with steps. It was absolutely a beautiful building. My feeling was when she came in and asked for the 3-year extension, she actually had only gotten the approval about 6 months before. So she had 18 months to file that extension. So to file the extension a year before was a little bit dicey for me to do, and a 3-year extension too. I had asked her when I had met with her, when I saw the plans, I asked her, I said, are you ready to go? Do you have investors? Knowing that this economy was taking a dive. Do you have investors? Do you have a flag? Do you have people? Are you going to build it right away? Because we really need to finish off the block. If I'm going to approve it, I want to finish the block. It's the last remaining piece on that one block that needs to be done. She assured me that she had financial backing and that they were going to be sailing along. The building would get into construction right away. So when she came and asked for the 3-year extension, to me, that was a flare-up. And not only that, you know, the beach master plan has not been completed, and I don't feel comfortable giving anyone an extension for that long of time because it's going to be binding the new commission. We're going to have a new commission. Maybe they will see it differently. And if I bind that building for 3 years and they have no oversight over it. Now we have a plan in place. Every 18 months the developer has to come in. That's an opportunity for the commission to say, all right, clean up your property, tear down your building. You've got code violations, fix it up. We have basically given away that opportunity now for the next 3 years.
And how did you vote on them? Wasn't Minto also asking for an extension?
The Minto extension, I think I might have voted against that. I'm not really sure how I voted on that. I think I was going to give them a 6-month extension or a year extension, but they were asking for a 2 in addition to their 6 months, so it turned out to be, I think, a 2-year or 2.5-year extension. Same thing. We'll be happy to approve the project when it comes back in, but I want oversight. I want every 18 months is a very good amount of time for a developer to stay out there with this project not being built. You know, so after 18 months, they have to come in for another approval process. I think it's our job to make sure they follow the guidelines that need to be followed.